Hello again, everybody. Harry Boxer, the technical trader. It's Thursday, the 8th of November. These are the charts of the day. Well, kind of a mixed to downward day on Wall Street today, but not a bad consolidation type session, I believe. Considering the run-up we had, I'll take it. Several stocks did well again today, and there's a few stocks I want to show you. It's some interesting patterns. ACIA, which is a current swing trade of ours after the explosive move here, then backed off, and for just one day, it's coming on again. If it gets through this 47 range, we may see 50, 55, even 60 going forward. But what I prefer is a longer consolidation for the next week or two, and then let it sit up and go. Former swing trade BVX, which broke down, has come back for 8 days in a row, and back to the 50 and lateral resistance. So at this point, it might be free to run to 7.5 and eventually get back to my former swing trade target at 10. CDNA didn't have a big day today, but notice that it got up to resistance at about the 29.5 range, 29.40. This high was 29.60 here, 29.39 today. But after hours, it exploded on a positive report, and you can see reaching as high as 30.69 before selling back to 29.75. So looking forward to see what this does tomorrow. I think it might extend, and if it breaks out with that pattern, it looks like it might. You could even see somewhere in the low to mid 30s short term. CRNT exploded today. What a beautiful day for that one, up 56 cents or 14% on 3.7 million is very big volume for that stock. And if you look at the last 4 days, the volume's been huge. Technically, the stock's now been up for 8 days in a row and blown through the triple top here. This is on its way, in my opinion, to 5.25, 5.5. But love to see some pullback setup. That would be nice. Crocs exploded as well on a strong report. Breakaway gap up almost 6 points for 27.5%. Big volume for that stock. And it is at the top of the channel near resistance, but my target going forward is going to be a follow through to about 30, and then we'll see if we can get it to back and fill and set up for a move to the mid 30s. I got to tell you, folks, that oil is in a major bearish pullback now. This is the ultra short bear, and you can see that after a long decline converts to the long run up the oil had. When oil broke down and this broke out, here's your breakout day. 3 or 4 days of consolidation was a good setup. And the breakout here across the prior high and now across that high tells us this may be headed towards about the 9.5, 3/4 range, very short term, even as quickly as tomorrow. But it's long in the tooth. It's been up 8 days in a row. I'm expecting a pullback consolidation in this zone, but this has had a major breakout. Another ETF on the bear side that we follow is SCO. You can see the same pattern. Breakout there, there, and there, and now maybe headed for the June highs up around the 19.45 range. That should happen tomorrow morning. If it does and we accelerate, we may get up to 21.75 before any substantial pullback. But nevertheless, again, based on these two ETFs, which are oil bear ETFs, the DWT and the SCO, both are trending solidly higher. Etsy had a big day today. Follow up to yesterday was the chart of the day. Today you can see the breakout through the gap yesterday, follow through the high today, and a close above it. At this point, I would not be shocked based on the parallel channel. This makes it up around 70. But for now, my near-term target is 59.60. LCI with a big reversal day after a long decline. A year ago, the stock was trading in the 30 range. They got this down 90% to about 333. After a little bit of a move up in 3-day flag, today it popped on a big volume of 7.8 million, jumping $1.54. That's 36%, folks. And it's right up against resistance near the gap and near the prior highs. 6 to 6.45 is the resistance zone. You may see that tomorrow. If we break out, we could run into the mid-channel target, which puts it up around 8.5, 3/4. I'll be watching this one carefully. How about the move on Mark lately? Another major declining channel that was broken with abandon, and our sharp run up from 205 to 457 in the last week has this one now near resistance. So we may get a pullback. As a matter of fact, late in the day, it backed off substantially. See that pullback from the 455 area all the way back down to 380. So I'm looking for some backing and filling and consolidation, and perhaps a setup for a run to 6.25 or better. Secondary target on that one, 7.5. So 6.25, 7.5 are your targets going forward. NK with an explosive, huge volume move. A big drug news, the stock exploded, got up to 410, close 372, up 101. That's 37%, 15 million. Never saw that trade that ever. Now that it's come through a major declining tops line and back up to resistance laterally here, and maybe in that zone as well, you can see where the price resistance might be there. This is going to be your target near term and resistance as well, of course. On NK, the 423 area, 25 area is going to be resistance, and it backed off in the 410 range today. So let's see if we can get a punch through that takes it up around the 5 range and then pulls back, or whether it backs and fills in here and then sets up for a breakout. RIBT, or swing trade, I put a new one on today because I had given it to you in there when it ran up nicely and hit our first target, but this had taken it back out again. The long-term chart shows that the declining tops line, the rising bottoms line is a little bit below where it held, and for the last 4 days the stock's been up. Now today was an inside day, so watch it carefully, because if we get through 290, 91 tomorrow, we may see 3.25 and 3.5 pretty quickly. Ultimately though, my target's 4.25, 4.5. SBH, explosive move today. 11 million shares exploded this on a surprisingly strong earnings report. That breaks it out of a major base that's been forming for about a year and runs it right up to resistance. Now, a longer term look at where the secondary resistance would be has me looking at this zone up here. That's way up here around 30. That's where I think the stock could go eventually. But let's see what it does over the next few days, whether it consolidates or continues to run. Scientific Games, also a reversal after moving down from mid-60s to the 18 range, a devastating decline over 6 months. It popped to resistance and pulled back, held kind of an inside, a couple little pullback low volume days, and then boom, broke out today. It got right up to resistance to stall there. What I'd be looking for on a swing is about 32.5, 3, and then 39, but we'll have to see what kind of follow through we get. BCYT broke out of its wedge today, and I put a swing on it. I truly believe we're going to see 18, 19 in this stock. And your short-term support would be right there at the pullback low at about 13. VNDA is a current swing trade that acted great. Exploded big time by 335 or 16 2/3%, almost 17%. You can see that this declining channel or pullback channel was broken with a big pop on good volume. If it works well and gets through today's high, we should see 29, 9.5. And finally, ZFGN, a recent swing, was reiterated today after it broke back out. Keep your eye on ZFGN over 1235. The target's going to be 15 and 18. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.